Be 500, get into the wild card.
86 got the Phillies all the way to the World
I
Series.
hate to break it to you, man. I don't think it was your vision.
Tipo un caballo.
This podcast is perfectly named, I would say.
I hate to make excuses for Sandy and the rest of the
No,
pitching
you don't. You've been doing it all year.
I do hate it. I'm just gonna say it.
And fucking hitting bombs to fucking Ocho. Like,
Inject that into my veins.
If that continues, there's no way we make the playoffs.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 20. Well, I'm off. 27 of the Battered Marlins Fans podcast. I'll update that in a second. We are talking playoff baseball. How are you guys doing? Let's start over here with Cali.
I'm doing great, baby. I mean, I know I was one at certain points. I just got incredibly pessimistic. I believe the episode we had with Eli that I thought our playoff chances were over, but I am happily eating crow, ready to fucking talk some Marlins right now.
That's it. How you
Should
doing,
be.
Spaz? Ultimate optimist.
what does somebody call it? Spazitivity?
Spazitivity. I trademarked that one.
Cali coined that one.
Patent pending.
Spazitivity got us to the playoffs, man. So we got a lot to cover from the past couple of days, but I'm excited. I'm about as happy as I've been as a Marlins fan in a very long time. So,
For sure. And what about you, Bratton? You've been waiting 20 years for the thing to go down. You were at Drive Pink Stadium when you found out. How you doing?
Yeah,
bro?
I think I put out videos every time we took the lead.
Yeah.
I was wearing my kilt. It was the only time I've ever been at a live sporting event and watched another sporting event. Because I had to see it. I had to see us clinch, and man, it felt so goddamn good.
fuck yeah.
It really did. And
Yeah.
we got in, and it was sweet that we got in, and we got in a day early, right? Because everybody thought that it might come down to the last day. It might even come down to Monday.
Not everybody thought it would come in. Who told you we would clinch the day before and we would lose the last game of the season? This guy.
Right there. Well, I'm feeling good. We're talking playoffs, and I mean, episode number 1. I mean, I know that everybody thought that I was a little crazy when I suggested playoffs, but we're here, baby. So let's talk. Do you guys even want to bother talking about the Pirate Series? The Pirate Series, we won enough games to make it. We're in the playoffs now. How do you guys feel after 20 years of misery? Because I can't talk about the last 20 years like you guys can. So, Brian, how do you feel after finally getting over that hump? 20 years. Even does 2020 count? It wasn't a full season.
I don't count it.
No, that never
and
happened.
I used to count it, but the way I felt when we clinched the playoffs this time, 2020 doesn't count. Like this, it was incredible. Like at the start of the season, we all like, oh yeah, we're gonna make the playoffs, la la la. 86 wins and we're in, and like we said it, but like, did we really think we would be here? Like,
Yes.
we wanted to be positive and stuff. Like, I hoped we would be here, but I didn't know. And just that feeling of clinching is just like, man, we are so goddamn good. And we did this without Sandy, without Yuri, without Trevor Rogers. And like Kim, bringing in Berger and Bell at the deadline, man. If that woman doesn't win GM of the year, the voting is a goddamn travesty. Same with Skip
Is there
for being
anybody else?
manager of the year. No,
Is there
the rest of
anybody
them
else
all
that could
got
possibly win that.
no.
I mean,
they
you
all
could-
got ripped off by Kim.
I was gonna say that you could make an argument for maybe the Orioles, but just because again,
That GM didn't do shit.
that's fair. Well, they drafted fantastic. Most of those guys
wow.
are homegrown guys. I'm just saying. I'm
If you-
playing devil's advocate. I think it should be Kim.
Listen,
But
we all
if
know
we're
you're
going
planning
based
to
off of
move
just
to the
this year's
DC area.
acquisitions.
I'm ready to prime myself to go for Orioles, baby. We're gonna have battered Orioles in 2024.
Just don't go Nats.
No, never Nats.
Nah, you got to go Orioles. You got to go Orioles.
I'm always a Marlin, but I'll support the Orioles. My dad was an
Well, how
Orioles fan before the Marlins came to be, so there is a connection there.
Revelations are
feeling?
coming out.
Callie, how are you feeling once we finally clinched?
Man, this is gonna sound strange, man, but I don't care. I didn't expect to get as emotional as I did.
Okay.
I remember like 2 outs Tanner Scott digging in. I stood up and I was standing in front of the TV. I had my phone on. I got to record this moment. And man, strike 3, and I just like I got choked up. I teared up. I'm like, man, like it really kind of came full circle. Like growing up as a kid, because when the Marlins were dominant. Oh, Emo Cali.
You are
guys
so
don't even-
right.
Emo Cali, yes.
It's like this.
Yeah, but well, I'll pull up the picture for you guys in a minute. But yeah, man, it was tough not to get choked up. Seeing the guys celebrate, seeing the playoff shirts and hats come out, seeing the celebration in the clubhouse, and all those guys just coming together, man. And maybe this team doesn't have the talent that we did in 2003 or in 97.
97.
This team, like, you can tell that these guys like ride and die for one another. Every single guy in the clubhouse when they interviewed, I understand there's a bit of like media training and stuff there, but every single one of them were just like pointing to one another saying like, we did this together because we're all bought in. And you can tell that everyone, all the players and even front office, Kim, everyone is bought into what Skip wants to do in this club. So it was awesome. It was hard not to get emotional. Like, man, we've waited. Again, I don't count 2020. I don't think anybody does. It was a weird time for everybody, shortened season, all that stuff. But to see this, like, and be able to share this moment with so many people, it was incredible, man. I can't explain it. No matter what happens from here on, from this point forward, I'm just so damn happy. Although I did buy the ticket for Game 1 of the NLDS already, so.
Yeah, which would be next Wednesday if they were to make it. But
I told my wife I'm not asking for permission. I'm not letting you. I'm letting you know. I'm letting you know where I will be Wednesday once we.
Yeah, no, I get that. And now that you bring that up, it's a transition. I was gonna go over here to Spaz real quick and ask you one how you felt, but also, does it annoy you at all that we were there watching them play against the Mets in a half-empty stadium? And then all of a sudden, you see all these watch parties, and the people are just like, it just crowds of people watching. It annoys me. I wish that they would be there. Like, we got to win a playoff race. Why did they wait till the very last day to go to these watch parties? Why can't we get that support
baby.
at least a week ahead of time? A week.
Yeah, it's just it's just the most Miami thing ever. And the thing is that no one trusts the Marlins. Like everyone. Yeah. Because no one wants to forget about that one thing that happened or whatever reason they hate the Marlins.
One thing?
Well, you know what I mean. Like,
there's a lot of trauma associated with the Marlins.
Yes,
I was one of those people till this season. Let's be very clear. That did not come to the stadium because of that shit.
He's absolutely right.
They're not getting my money, this and that, blah, blah. And it's always more towards the Marlins than anybody else, which fine, I get it. So like, I'm kind of annoyed by it, but not really, because anything to get out there and support these guys, I really do deserve it. But I told you guys, and I sent out a tweet. I didn't even watch the game. I had some family stuff and birthday stuff. So by the time I actually looked at my phone, I had your text messages. I had some other friends' text messages, and then I checked Twitter, and the first thing I saw was Marlins radio, Kyle Sealaff and Jessica Blaylock, that video of him calling that last strikeout. And I don't know why Cali's so like, this is going to sound weird. I was sobbing. Fuck that. I was like sobbing, dude, at 2 a.m. because that's when I saw it. My wife looks at me. She's like, are you okay? I'm like, no, at all. It was a great moment, man. It was. By the way,
I got a picture of Emo Cali here.
Look at that.
Oh, God. We're going to have to mark this explicit.
There's Emo Cali.
What is that?
That's Cali.
That's Emo Cali. That's me with ironed hair.
That's him suffering through like 2005 Marlins baseball or something.
Suffering. So, well, actually, we were pretty decent in those years. Those are like the Dan Uggla, like Cody Ross years. But no, it's just being full of teenage angst at the time.
And to Adrian's point, real quick, the game that I went to it with Spaz, it felt heavy in playoff implications. We needed a win, and it was a Tuesday. No Inter Miami or Dolphin game. I get it, but it just annoys me. That's all.
No,
I also don't think those are comparative markets, if you will. Like I don't know how much crossover there is between Marlins. I think Marlins and Dolphins, yes, but Dolphins only play once a week. Whereas Marlins and Inter Miami, I don't know how much overlap there is between fan bases there.
I
Yeah.
don't
That's
think
true.
so.
No,
Yeah, I don't think.
I think us four are very much the exception more than the rule.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
I
that by
think what
large part.
changes that is Messi, though. Like,
Don't get me started. This is a
Oh
Marlins
my God.
podcast.
Yes. Let's
Yeah.
move
all
on.
right, let's talk about better things. Like, Callie brought up a great point. Like Burger's nickname in that locker room, man.
Hamburguesa.
I
No,
love it.
That was when I heard Arise call him Hamburguesa, I cackled.
Yeah.
I was straight up laughing like an asshole. And
Did you
And my
see-
even my wife came was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I'm not. This is the greatest. This is a fantastic night.
If I don't know if you guys follow Burger's wife on Twitter, but
No, but I saw the shirt.
Yeah, they made a shirt and it's like a hamburger. It's
Mhm,
like
for his
supposed to be
beard.
like a play on. Yeah, it's so good.
It was
You
very
guys
well
have to
done.
I
go out
haven't
and find
seen
it.
that.
That was very well
Yeah.
done. Yes, I saw that. That was really nice. So go ahead, Spaz.
Oh no, I was gonna just say that they did like a little interview earlier on where like they're asking players like to sing a song or whatever, and the girl that's interviewing doesn't even call him burgers. She just goes hamburguesa, sing a song, and I'm like, dude, I hope that catches on and like because the rise
He
started.
is Hamburguesa now.
Yeah, it's so good, but yeah, I like it.
All right. So I guess before we start talking playoffs, just in general, how do you feel about the season? I know obviously we're happy that they made the playoffs. How do you feel about the season in general, Cali? I mean, we had a young stud come up, Yuri. We had unfortunate injuries. We had a 14-game over 500 record disappear. How do you feel overall about the season?
I think I need the season to like officially end for me to like really analyze and give like a real postmortem of the season.
Yeah.
But I mean, what struck me the most is, barring that bad return from the All-Star break, we've been pretty damn consistent as a team, man. Like
Yes.
you don't reach 85 wins being inconsistent. You don't get over 500 being inconsistent, and you eliminate that what was it, like a 7-game stretch that we were just absolutely abysmal, whatever it was. We may be dancing around 90 wins, and but I think this is a team that like, and this was a year that you can the culture shift within the club was palatable. Like you can see the players playing differently. You can see even the front office operating differently. We were buyers. Guys were playing hard. We had again Soler 36 bombs. Jazz had a great year despite the injuries. 19 bombs in 97 games.
Batting champion.
Yeah, Arise having an astronomical year. Braxton Garrett, Jesus Luzardo, both having fantastic years. Sandy was up and down, but the fact that we still got to this point with not having Sandy at his best and having only like a very small sample size of Yuri, who was fantastic in his time that he was playing with us, it's very hard to find something negative to say about the season. Again, whatever happens now it's all gravy. We always talked about we just wanted to get here.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been saying that from the get-go. We just want to get here. Anything that happens beyond this point is a bonus, and we'll get into the Philly series in a little bit. But I'm super, super pleased with this. I cannot ask for more.
Outside of the post All-Star break, I also don't think that you can find many negatives. Any takeaways, or what were your overall takeaways from the seasons, Brandon?
It's going to be tainted as it's going to be tainted as being very positive right now because we're coming off a high, and when we do our post-season show, I'll probably have different thoughts. But kind of to Callie's point, like I feel like this season in all facets has been like a building block to more. Like the team really made an effort to like go out and connect with the fan bases. Like they nailed all their marketing for this season, like with all the theme nights, with the Teal Fridays, with the City Connect jersey on Saturdays. Like they nailed their marketing. Then they go out and do things like they added breastfeeding rooms and God, what do they call it? for
Yeah.
the sensory
auditorium.
deprivation rooms.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
For people who just can't handle all that noise and need a place
wow.
to decompress, like
Yeah.
things like that, like, and those will get overlooked as like just things that happen. But
I'm glad you're bringing them up though.
teams don't do that if they don't care about the fan base. And like that's always what was my problem with the Marlins is I never felt valued. But little things like that, like start bringing other people in. And I think part of that is what we saw, like those huge crowds mid-season when we were just like world beaters. And we've gotten to this point very much like not our best self. Like
Yeah.
we had no Sandy. Yeah. Well, and Mike, that's exactly why I called Spazzy out on the one thing comment. But you know, I think when we look back at the season, like, and maybe we look back at it a couple years from now, we're gonna say the Battered Marlin podcast really was a catalyst for all of this. No, but seriously, like I think we're gonna look back and we're gonna say like this was the season that started something. Like
I agree.
03 for the Marlins felt great, but I don't know if I don't think I felt like it was a catalyst for more, because like now we went out at the All-Star break, we bought players, like we've got controllable assets. And then next season, you look at our rotation, we're adding Sandy back, Yuri back for a full season because there's no way he's getting shut down next year. Trevor Rogers, Max Myers, Eddie Cabrera, if he can get his shit together. And
the myth that is Sixto.
Sixto Sanchez
well,
El Bobo.
The myth.
And I would be shocked if we don't go out and pick up another arm. And you know,
We
like
need a closer, is what we need.
well, Tanner Scott's done all right, man. Like I'm okay
He
with
did all right
that.
last year also, until he didn't.
Listen, that man, his wife had a baby, and he was still
Like 2 weeks
pitching
ago.
for us. No, it wasn't like 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
She
that-
had
yeah, it
the
was
baby
actually
while they were on the Mets road trip.
Yeah, that's right.
Road trip,
It was much
and
more
he
recent
didn't go
than that.
home. He closed that night.
Well, I
Like-
appreciate him for that. I'm just saying, like, I mean, everybody got babies. Spaz, takeaways from this year.
No, I mean Callie and Branson did a good job of explaining everything. They also added the museum, which was like a huge thing for it was very nice seeing that they
Yes.
did that, and it was a big
sure, it
draw
was a
for a
nice
lot of
touch.
people. I mean, everyone loved it. I have not heard one person say a bad word about it. I was reading a tweet earlier on from Fish Army, and they said something like, "If you would have told me at the beginning of the season that I would have postseason tickets, for the Marlins right now, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have laughed in your face." And it's crazy. It's crazy. We're just happy to be here. And the same thing. I bought the tickets. I have tickets for hopefully we make it through. But I have tickets for Wednesday and Thursday, and it feels surreal. In 20 years, I have not been to a postseason game, like a baseball game. So
So that'll be the first game ever at this ballpark, playoff
Yes.
wise.
Yep.
correct. The last time it was at Joe Robbie Stadium, and it was. I mean, that house was rocking, man.
And because
So-
that 2020 thing was, where was it, in Houston or something? I forgot where it was that they played that weird
Yeah, I think it was
random
Minute
playoff.
Maid, right?
We beat the
Something.
Cubs, and then we got our asses absolutely kicked in. I guess against the Rays, right?
I don't know. I just think that was stupid. I mean, obviously, I understand the
Weird.
pandemic played a part in it, but that was such a weird. But yes, we're in it. We're happy, and like Alejandro said, we have to make it through the NL East to make, if any, hopes for the World Series. Kind of the way it kind of played out, but I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like it this way.
Well, I
With the
wanted
team-
Philly from the beginning.
Well, because when you're a team that is like an underdog, right? Where like out of the 12 teams that made it, I think everybody looks at the Marlins like, well, they're probably the easiest out. I want to play against a team that we're familiar with, a team that we've played 4 series already with, that we're familiar with them. We got plenty to look back on. We won the regular season series against them 7-6. So I'm happy that we're playing against the Phillies. And I know everybody's scared of the Braves, but I'm happy that if we somehow get past the Phillies, that we go on to another NL East opponent, because I like the familiarity. I think that is something that we can play off of, because I think the Marlins are playing with house money. And I also think that because they're so familiar with these teams, I think that if they're going to, I guess surprise is not the right word, but if we have a chance against somebody, I think it's somebody like the Braves and the Phillies, even though they're look, I know the face you're giving me, Cali. We just swept them. Was it in Atlanta? Was it? Oh no, at home. We swept them at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, but I feel like the familiarity helps. I know Acuna is a monster. I know the Braves are probably the best team in the league, but I like the familiarity, and that's what I'm kind of leaning into that. But we got the Phillies first, so I guess let's get into the Phillies. We're playing the Phillies. Starts tomorrow. 3 games. Well, 2 games, a third if necessary. All in Philadelphia. All primetime games, which I think is sexy as hell. And when I get ready for shows like this, I like to see what the opposing teams are thinking, right? Like the podcast and stuff. So I kind of tuned into Philly radio and Philly podcast all day today, just to hear what they're saying.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because I like to hear what they're saying. I like to hear what their thoughts are, what their worries about their teams are and whatnot. And for the most part, it's a consensus. Everybody feels like they should win, and that if they don't, it's an embarrassment, right? And I feel like I hope that the players feel the same way. They're all saying that the Marlins aren't ready for the environment that it is Philadelphia. Now, I don't know why Philadelphia thinks so highly of themselves. I'm sure it's not going to be any more hype than any other stadium that we would play in is. So they got to get over that. Also, they also think that for some reason there's a home field advantage there. We've played Philadelphia 2 series in the regular season, total of 6 games. Both those series we took 2 out of 3. So they can go ahead and suck it with that one also. So I do feel confident going into it, and we can get into the specifics in a second, but I kind of just want to get overall feel. How do you feel about us matching up against the Phillies? I'll start with Brian. Brian, how do you feel about our matchup against the Phillies?
I feel great. Listen, we got Luzardo going game 1, Brax going game 2. I don't think we need a game 3.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
how
I would
I'm
have gone like
feeling.
that. Okay.
I don't
love the
think
optimism.
Phillies are that
Yeah, me
great.
too.
I don't think the Phillies are that great. I really don't. Like, if you told me like we were having to pick between the Brewers and the Phillies, I'm more scared of the Brewers. The Brewers have a better pitching staff. Yeah, Nola's going to be a problem going up against, but I think we have a better bullpen. Our bullpen actually, hey, we got a day off today. We didn't put any real starters on Sunday. Like, I feel like we're well rested. Like, I saw the interviews with the team this week. They looked great. Like, they looked like they were a good nervous, in my opinion. And like Skip said, like, if you're not nervous, you don't feel anything. And I really feel like if there was a path to the past this round, I think the Phillies give us the best shot. And so, I'm going to continue to be optimistic and say, Luzardo and Brax are going to step the hell up, and we're going to move past the Phillies, and we'll be standing there Wednesday with each other, taking a picture right there in the Budweiser bar or someplace, because I'm not worried about the Phillies.
Spaz, how do you feel about the Philly series?
I wish I felt as confident as Brent.
Have another drink, you'll get there.
Mondays are my detox day. I need one detox day. I think we can take them in the 3-game series. I think we're good there. I just want to beat the shit out of them for the whole bottom feeders thing, and they always want to touch.
Yeah.
I've hated them. They're the team that I've hated the most throughout my entire Marlins fandom. So I think we can take care of them. I think it goes three games. Hopefully we take care of it at home, and hopefully we take care of it in the first 2, excuse me, and then bring it home for next Wednesday and Thursday against those idiots. So I'm feeling good about it.
Callie, from what I heard everybody in Philadelphia talking about, I think they feel on their end as bad as we do good about Braxton starting game 2. I think they are thinking, although they feel like they should win this series, the majority of them think it might go 3 because of Braxton game 2 against Nola. But they are feeling very confident with Zach Wheeler against Luzardo tomorrow. How are you feeling in general about the series?
To be fair, if I'm the Phillies fan, if I'm a Phillies fan and I see that we're matching up against the Marlins, I'm probably a little more excited too. Again, we're the Cinderella story. We're the underdog. We're the team that wasn't supposed to be here, but we got in. But to Juan's point in the chat, we match up really well, and the series records proves it. Again, we won the series.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of lefty bats. They have some very good bats. They hit a lot of home runs. They have 6 guys with 20 plus. Kyle Schwarber, the absolute anomaly this year, has 47 bombs, 104 RBI. He's been walked 126 times, but he's struck out 215 times, and he's batting a $197.
97. Mm-hmm.
You know, which is just I can't. He's all or nothing. He's go big or go home. But when he finds barrel,
His ass is going home.
Yeah.
But I feel like those type of players aren't as productive in the postseason.
So my thing with Schwarber is that he's won before. He's been in the playoffs plenty. Yeah, Mitch, I was going to get to that. Thank you. The Phillies are, I have it here in front of me. They are 8th in the league in strikeouts. We hit better than they did as a team this year. We have a higher average. Higher average. They are 8th also in home runs. So they're also very high on the list in terms of strikeouts. Let me see. They are. I just had it here. They are 8th in. Wow, they're consistent. They're 8th in strikeouts as well. You know, they have a lot of experience. They're a team that's been in the World Series. But I do think the 1-2 punch of Luzardo and Garrett is going to be tough for them. They just don't hit lefties well. Schwarber in particular does not hit lefties well. So what I think it comes to beyond that, it's going to be coaching. Can Skip do it in his first year? And I think he can. He's a guy that seems to have ice in his veins, and he's got to make the right lineup, make the right moves, send out the right guys. And man, I love having a 1-2 punch with Luzardo and Garrett against Philadelphia specifically, and I think that's where it's going to be won and lost. So I'm feeling good. I'm cautiously optimistic. Again, anything that happens beyond now it's a bonus. It's gravy at this point. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling cautiously optimistic. I think I don't think anyone should be terribly surprised if we win this series. But the onus is on them. If I was them, I'd probably be confident too. But this is a Marlins team that can hit. We've shown that we can hit. We hit amongst the best with them. I think we're 5th in the league in average. I see no reason why we can't do it over there, especially considering we're better than they are at their place statistically this year. So,
and to piggyback off of what you were saying with Schwarber, he hit 47 home runs, but 32 of those came off of right-handed pitching.
Yeah,
like he doesn't perform as well against left-handed pitchers. And historically, I think every team that has ever led the league in home runs in the regular season has never won the World Series. It's a different, I think baseball is the one game that changes so drastically once you get to the postseason. Like it's small ball, it's pitching wins games, not the long ball. So I'm not too worried about their power hitting. I think that if Luzardo's on, obviously I would feel a lot better if Sandy was playing, right? And I don't know what's going on with the health of Arise, but I think that things change once you're in the postseason, and I feel pretty confident. I mean, they're saying that our inexperience, I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they have a World Series MVP on their roster, do they?
Nope. We do.
No.
We do. We have that. We have experience. Yes, maybe it isn't as much as they do, but we do have some experience. We have a World Series MVP on our roster. So I feel pretty good. And, I think the pitching goes to our end when Braxton's on the mound. Obviously, Zach Wheeler, game 1 is for them. But let's say hypothetically they split. We go to game 3. Cabrera, if he has some command, I love Cabrera on the mound when he has some command going. I don't want to see David Robertson out there at any point. When he was a Met, he would constantly get blown up in Philadelphia. They're praying to see David Robertson. He better not see the mound in this series. So I'm feeling good. Now, what I do think if we have a benefit is if they go Taijuan Walker game 3, because apparently that's who they might be leaning towards, because Chris Sanchez, although he's been one of the better pitchers, they've been putting him in the bullpen recently. So I don't know about that. And do you think we see Cueto?
No.
mean, I hope not.
If we see
If we
Cueto,
see
I'm gonna.
Cueto, it's out of the bullpen, and it's
Yeah,
because somebody really screwed up in inning 1 or 2.
Well,
That's
I'm,
it.
but I'm okay with that. I just don't want Cueto starting and getting.
He won't.
Yeah.
Cabrera is going to be the third starter, 100%.
Well, go ahead.
You have to trust, like, when Cabrera is on, that man is on. When Cueto is on, he's getting rocked for 6 runs.
Yeah, but I mean, both scare me. Cabrera just scares me less. So
Listen,
Cabrera-
we don't need game 3. We got Luzardo's going to strike the hell out of that team game 1.
Branson
And Brax, we win like 80% of the time when Brax starts.
I think that's why everybody, Philadelphia people, or radio or whatever personalities feel the same, that they feel like Brax could steal one. So
Yeah.
if we can manage to win tomorrow's start against Luzardo, all of a sudden I start feeling really good about this series. I think game 1 is going to be that key.
To play devil's advocate a little bit with Cueto. The only reason I would think that Skip would start Cueto in game 3 is solely based off of experience. Again, I don't think that's the right move. If we're going to game 3 and we trot Cueto out there, I am not going to be optimistic. But again, if he says, "Hey, we want the guy that's been here before, who's done it before," let's throw Cueto out there. So
look, if Skip can't decide between Cabrera and Cueto, he has to do a bullpen day.
If we go Johnny Holstaff in the playoffs, I am going to throw myself off of the top of Lone Depot.
The positive is that in the postseason you get that quick pull, right? Like we're not playing around, especially if it's game 3. Short leash, like
the leash is short.
So and generally when Cueto's on the mound, it's a bullpen day, so you got somebody warming up anyway, probably. So I definitely think that the short leash will be out there, and I understand that the Phillies lineup is strong from top to bottom. They're left.
It's a good lineup. We can't. There's no way to beat around the bush. It's a very good lineup.
And towards the end, didn't they get like even hotter? Like, weren't they super hot coming into the end of the season?
That I can't tell you. That I'm not sure. I would assume so, because they ended up
with
with 90 wins.
Phillies games.
They picked up some heat at the end, but I mean, I'm still very positive about the series coming up.
Luis Ariz, do you think he plays?
100%.
Have you heard anything?
Man, I would hope he thugs it out and he goes out there. I mean, even if it's one of those things that we like, throw him at first or something and DH Bell and kind of like play checkers a little bit and figure out the lineup, or even DH him. I think if Ariz is at 60%, I think you try to, and I think Ariz would get in Skip's face and say, "You have to put me in the fucking lineup."
Yeah, and I'm all for playing my DH. I am all for putting my DH. One last thing that I picked up from listening to All Philly Radio today, they are all very fearful of Josh Bell. Now, I don't know the history there, but apparently he is a Phillies killer.
He's a Philly killer.
Apparently,
with the Pirates, with the Nationals, he's
and with the Padres,
and with the Padres.
So
he's
apparently
their Chipper Jones.
So that is the one name that kept coming up as that they're fearful of of Josh Bell. So there's
Josh
that.
Bell's a guy that's been there before. He's there's a lot of years, a lot of at bats under that belt, man. That there's not a, and to be fair with some of their concerns, we don't have a lot of guys that have been in the postseason before, but we have plenty of guys who've had significant experience in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, man, the thing is, it's the postseason, man. Like, if you're there, you got a chance. If you're there, you got a prayer, man. You still have to show up. You have to play 9 innings, and just fucking win, baby. Just keep playing. Just keep playing the game. And that's it, man. Yeah. Anything can happen. I believe it was Mitch in the chat mentioned, 2003 Marlins were never supposed to be there. 2015 Royals were never supposed to be there again. And George Soler was
beat the Mets.
And George Soler was on that team as well. There's no reason. I mean, it's not an insane thought. I think a wild card team can make a run, and and even moving beyond Philly, if we get past Philly, what's the break? So we'd have to play them anyway. Like, it doesn't matter. You still have to win the series. So it doesn't fucking matter who lines up next, whether it's the Braves, the Dodgers, whoever the hell comes next. It doesn't matter because you have to play them and you have to win anyways.
And
So,
Mitch, that's what we were bringing up. Literally, episode 1 of this show earlier this season was the Phillies got 86 wins, snuck into the playoffs, and made it to the World Series. So we said the goal is 86 wins because if the Phillies did it last year, we could do it this year. And who would have thought we're playing the Phillies to start the playoffs? So I guess
between Mitch in the comments and finding out that Josh Bell's a Philly killer, now we're taking game 1 and 2. We're fucking winning.
Thanks, Spaz. Spazitivity.
Spaz snuck the whiskey into his recording studio here. He's ready.
If we somehow win game 1, I'm feeling really good.
Yeah,
I'm feeling really good with Braxton going game 2.
If we win, and not even for us as fans, but if the Marlins can go into Philly and win game 1, you have to imagine the adrenaline's pumping. All of a sudden, they're looking around, and you're telling each other, "We can fucking do this."
Don't forget it's Philly. Like not even just the fans in the stadium. Philly is one of those shitty ass sports cities that just is used to just something going wrong.
Philly trash is a real thing, man.
100%. Like when the Sixers played against the Heat in the second round of the playoffs last year, they're like, "Thank God they eliminated the Bucks for us." And what happened? That he tossed them out and went on to the Eastern Conference Final. Like, Philly is just a miserable sports city. So if they lose game 1, all it takes is one early run taking a 1-0 lead, and that stadium will die. Like, the energy will completely leave the stadium. So game 1 is crucial if we can somehow steal that.
Yeah,
but
and
I guess
even statistically, like whoever wins game 1 more often than not,
in a 3-game series for sure.
Yeah, more often than not. But even if it's a loss, but let's say it's a 5-4 loss, and we're trading blows with them, whatever the case. Like, you go into the clubhouse after the game, like, hey, we're in this. You know, the thing is like, what we can't do is we can't play bad tomorrow. We can't play poorly.
Right.
You know,
we can't get blown out.
But
we can't have one of those. Even
if you keep it close, you guys, even if it's a loss, you go back into the clubhouse and you look around like, guys, our backs against the wall, but anything, like Mitch said, anything can happen. Literally, like, you just have to show up and play 9 innings, and they have to play 9 innings too. And you know what? The Marlins are a team with nothing to lose, which are often the most dangerous, because we were never supposed to be here. So I expect them to play hard. I expect them to play aggressive, because at this point, we're in fuck it mode, bro. If we win, we win. Great. But we're going to fucking give it everything we have. And that's all I want. I want to see a competitive series, but yeah, man, if we pull it out tomorrow, we get a hot start tomorrow. They're looking around in the dugout. They're talking to each other. Hey, we're lighting these motherfuckers up like a Christmas tree. We're gonna send them crying to fucking Pats or Geno's after the game. So,
like, I love
Pats.
I love our chances in a 3-game series. When we get to a 5-game series, 7-game series, I'm very much less confident, just because of our pitching staff right now. Yeah. But I think, like, we can absolutely go out there and make some noise against Philly. And, as we've said, like, this is just gravy, man. I'm just here for the vibes at this point.
I mean, look, episode number 1, all I wanted was to be able to make a graphic with the trophy on the bottom. Like, there it is.
Did it, baby.
And knowing you had this made up game. Episode 1.
I did. Well, not episode 1, but like a month ago, I was like, I'm going to have that trophy right there. And then I failed because the episode started and I didn't have it up. So whatever. All right. So prediction time. Spaz, the ultimate optimist. How are we feeling about this series? And you know what? Let's change it up. How are you feeling about this series? And since we're only talking about this series and the next 2 to 3 games, series and the player that you think is going to play best for us or stand out for us, who's going to just do it for us?
So I think we take game 1 and 2 and we take care of business.
Ooh, I love it. I doubt it, but I love it.
And dude, I think the player that's it's gonna be Birdie Ball. I think it's gonna be Birdie Ball.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, he is the hottest player over the last month. He's batting 365, 7 RBIs, 4 home runs, 3. Yeah.
He's in a groove, man. He's
man.
So I think Birdie Ball is gonna get us a lot of RBIs, hopefully, and then we bring it back home.
Over the last month, we've been been raking. Josh Bell's batting 275, Berger 289, Rice 344, Solar 350, Jazz 250. Man, hopefully we can keep it going because over the last month,
Not bad at all.
the bats have been going. Bratton, prediction and that one player that's just gonna stand out and do it for us.
It's gonna be 2-0, man. We don't need the game 3. It's
Oof,
not gonna
okay.
get to. It's not gonna get there. And the player who's gonna make the biggest difference for us is gonna be Berger. I fully
Hamburguesa,
expect
yep.
my boy. Yeah, my white ass will butcher the hell out of that, so I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, Berger's gonna do it for us. I think he's gonna continue his hot streak, and I see at least one homer in the next 2 games from him. Probably a clutch one to take the lead in game 1, and that will deflate the Phillies in game 2.
All right, and Cali, prediction and that one guy.
I'll be the devil's advocate here. I think I'm gonna say 2-1. I think we win the series. Because I have no other choice but to believe. I think man, Jazz has been swinging it really, really fucking well lately.
This is his coming out party.
Yeah, and I think like him being kind of the face of the franchise, I think this is like Jazz kind of putting himself on the map. Like aside from the MLB The Show cover, it's him saying like, "Hey guys, I'm not just a flashy player down in Miami. Like I'm a fucking ball player. I'm a fucking dog," and and he's gonna do it. So I'm gonna say 2-1, and Jazz is the guy that straps it on. But just a Brandon's thought, like I can't imagine like we're in like a 4-3 game. We're down. It's like the bottom of the 8th or something, and then Berger just fucking knocks a 2-run banger into left center, and you just hear the oxygen leave fucking Citizens Bank Park. Brian De La Cruz
It never comes back.
Yeah,
DLC is due.
It collapses like a fucking submarine full of rich people.
I'll tell you who else I think is due. Jesus Sanchez, I think, is due because he's fallen off a bit.
Well, him and DLC, they owe us.
Yeah.
Dale, ponte la pila for the postseason.
I'm riding more or less with Cali. I think it goes 3. I think Cabrera pitches the 3rd game. I think the player that's going to stand out the most is going to be Braxton game 2. I think Braxton pitches and usually gets pulled after 6. I think he goes 7 or 8 strong, kind of lets our bullpen rest, and we're going to rely heavily on the bullpen to game 3. I just don't feel good against Wheeler. I don't feel good against Wheeler. And Luzardo has been up and down this year. I want to take game 1. If we take game 1, I'll bet the house that we take game 2. But I don't feel confident about game 1. Hopefully, I am dead wrong. But I do think that we could take this series. I love when you're this level of underdog, right? Because I feel like that's what with the playoffs and stuff like that. It's almost like it's meant to be when you're this level of like looked over. Like Philly fans are all talking about the Braves series already. Like they're talking about how they're not scared of the Braves and how they're going to beat the Braves on their way to the NLCS. So I love that they're that confident because I just feel like it's meant to be for us to knock them off that high pedestal. So I'm excited. Playoff baseball here in Miami. Well, technically not in Miami, but with the Miami team in it. And I will tell you one thing. If this team was healthy, nobody would want to face us. With Yuri, with Sandy, a healthy Arise, nobody. And I think that it almost plays into our hand for next season because we have a nice healthy core. Kim's going to add a couple more pieces. This team is going to be serious next year. So right now we're playing with house money. Next year is the year. We're going to be 2 for 2 playoff-wise this year and next. Year 2 of the Battered Marlins Fans podcast next year also. Is it a coincidence? Spaz, you said, is it a coincidence?
I don't know. We started this podcast and we're in the postseason.
That's it.
Shit's happening.
All right. Final thoughts. Spaz, any final thoughts?
No, just watch and support however you can. They're having that watch party at the stadium. Mm-hmm. Free parking, free admission. I might go there depending, but yeah.
If we get win 1, I might go to game 2, the watch party.
Yeah. But
I might be on that boat with you.
Yeah.
If we do that, I'll commit to driving down from Broward for that.
Because if it's game 2, after we win game 1 with Brax on the mound, I want to be there for that. Yeah. Brian, final thoughts.
Final thoughts, just soak it all in, guys. You never know when you're going to be here again.
It doesn't come easy.
It took me, I was in high school I had to skip school with my dad multiple times to go to Marlins playoff games. So soak it in. And if we get past the Phillies, your asses all better be out there. You better
Wednesday.
pack that stadium Wednesday and Thursday, and you
Mhm.
better come find us.
Fine. Why? I don't want anybody to find me.
I do. I want him to buy his beer, man.
Ain't nobody buying you beer, man. You better start buying other people beer.
I just want to meet more fans. That's what I want to
Okay.
do. And I want to share the joy that this podcast has brought, at least to me, with everybody that listens and is in here, because this is just a great season and we should all share it together.
Yeah,
I
man. I'm
agree.
looking forward. I wish Peter Pratt could make it down here. Callie, final
I
thoughts.
saw he bought tickets.
Hold on. He bought tickets.
Did he?
Yeah, he got tickets.
I would 100% expect Peter Pratt to
If we make it
bring his
back,
scouse ass over here.
yeah, Peter
Yeah.
Pratt's going to be here next week. If
That'd be
we
wild. Hey, Peter, if you come down here, if you listen to this and you come down here, you contact me. We're gonna get you some
We're
gear.
gonna get
so you- well,
together.
yeah, we gotta do something. That care package that we've been meaning to send them, we gotta
Yes.
get them in person.
Yeah.
Callie, final thoughts.
Man, enjoy it. Enjoy it, man. It's there's nothing quite like playoff baseball, and I love every sport, man. I love baseball, football, soccer, basketball, hockey. I love it all, man. There's nothing quite like playoff baseball, and
Because every
you
pitch
know,
counts. That's why it's so fun.
yeah, man. It's the only game where you can't run out the clock. It's the only game where you have to give a chance to the other team at the end. Man, let's soak it in, get lucky, and let's pop a little more champagne, man. Just a little
That's it,
more,
man. In Brax we trust. Lizardo's gonna come through. Ooh, I just feel good. So, if you are listening on audio, please leave the 5-star review, comment, all that other good stuff. If you are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And if you guys were joining us in the chat, thank you as always. You guys are the best part of this show, and we will be back previewing the Brave series when we talk about how we're gonna go on to the NLCS. No, is that too much? No, maybe. Okay.
No,
Got a
let's
little
do
ahead
it,
of myself.
baby.
Whatever. We'll be back at some point. I don't know. We'll see how this series goes. We'll be
Well,
back.
what would it be?
and,
It'd have to be
Thursday.
maybe Thursday post game. Thursday
Our
post game.
normal day, Thursday.
Yeah,
let's see. Hopefully,
we got it,
All right.
boys. We got it.
So until the next one, have a good one.